got this. Awesome.
Woo! Best!
For the last 25 years, it has been my distinct honor to have Bradley as my brother. Which, really put me in a bind when they asked me to be his best woman. Because how are you supposed to take a quarter century of memories, adventures, antics, laughs, friendship, and boil it all down to, what, a 5-minute speech? It seems an impossible task. I mean, really, how am I supposed to do that? Well, you're all about to find out. Our mom recently said the best part about growing up with a sibling is the fact that you can always come together and bond over how crazy your parents are. And I don't quite know what that says about our grandparents, but I'm going to glide past that real quick. It sounds great in theory, but I think the two of us were probably driving our parents crazy far more than anything of the contrary. I don't know how they did it. Lest we forget the time we almost burned the house down trying to make our own homemade donuts, covering every square inch of the kitchen floor in boiling oil, COVID months. And of course, there's a series of short films that I made Brad star in as his alter ego, Little Johnny. Which, by the way, you can watch the whole series online if you go to littlejohnnysaga.com. That is a real functioning website that I made specifically for this very occasion. So enjoy and thank me later. And we really put mom and dad through the ringer every time it came to games. Board games, card games, yard games, you name it. Because for those of you who don't know, Brad
is competitive.
Yes, please everyone hold your gasps of shock. I know that's true. By the way, if you don't know that, you might be at the wrong event. The Rubenstein wedding is just down the street. Every single one of our Easter egg hunts resulted in some kind of physical altercation. And I do mean everyone, up to and including this past Easter, just 1 month ago. He also refuses to accept anyone's forfeiture in Monopoly. No, he has to finish the game and win the real way. And there's a time we were playing pool volleyball, and he so endearingly nicknamed me Spaghetti Fingers. Seriously, this guy was going to give him a flu and parade around the house, bragging as if he had just discovered a cure for cancer. So I, being the stoic voice of reason, did the only rational and mature big sister could do. I flipped over a chair. Which, as I think about it, is not altogether unlike the time he beat me in cornhole and I flipped over the board. But you do have to give us some credit. We've really come a long way and grown up a lot since back then, which was last Tuesday. So yeah, you can say Brad is competitive, and perhaps me too, but this isn't about me. He's also goofy, hilarious, a tad obsessive, analytical, smart, a natural leader, charismatic, and kind. And among all of those great qualities, Brad to me has always been most defined by his heart. He always has my back, and he's always been there for me.
Woo!
He's the type of person who will yell in your defense until he is blue in the face. When I'm down, he's a shoulder to lean on. When I'm uncertain, he's a sounding board. And when I need absolutely anything, he is the first person to offer without giving it a second thought. A few summers ago, we were traveling through Italy, and on what was supposed to be a chill beach day, our lovely cousins over there convinced us all to go on a hike. Now, what was branded to me as a quick 20-minute walk to a lookout point turned into 5 hours in the scorching heat on the mountaintops of Cinque Terre. And as I'm sure you all know by now, Brad got every last allele of athleticism in our gene pool, and I got nothing. So I was neither physically, nor mentally, nor fashionably equipped for this little adventure, and wound up rolling my ankle no less than 12 times from when we started counting. But Brad never left my side. He found a big stick and held it up along the mountain edge like a guardrail the whole time, afraid that at any given moment I would fall or jump off the cliffside. He spent the entire time looking out for me, same way he always does. So to have Bradley Camarda in your life is to have a support beam, a defender, an advocate, a confidant, a comic relief, an accomplice in lunacy, and above all else, a best friend. He embodies the truest essence of brotherhood. And as I reflected upon this, I think that's what made me so sure that Amanda is the perfect person for him. Because for all of the myriad ways that Brad is there for me, Amanda is there for him. She is always in his corner, as a partner and as a bodyguard. We jokingly call her the firecracker, jokingly, right? But the truth is, Amanda, I am in such perpetual awe of your resolve, strength of character, and your fierce love for those around you. And the more I've grown to know Amanda, the more I love her. I often reminisce about the time the two of us were driving home from upstate and decided to stop for coffee. We found the nearest Starbucks in the GPS, followed the route, and somehow found ourselves among armed guards at the West Point Military Academy. Thanks, Louise. Yeah, it turns out the nearest Starbucks was on their campus, and we were promptly turned away by a battalion of uniformed soldiers armed with guns and caramel frappuccinos. Since then, the two of us have only continued to make incredible memories together. I love to goof off with her, but when things are serious, she conducts herself with grace and always extends that grace to others. You know, as I've looked around the room and seen all of you laughing, smiling, gazing up admiringly at me. I said gazing up admiringly at me. I can't help but feel thankful for all of the people who came here tonight, especially those of you who came from so far away. We have friends and family who came from California, Arizona, Nevada, Illinois, Virginia, Oklahoma, Florida, the Carolinas, all over the map.
Long Island.
Long Island. In fact, Brad's friend Jack came all the way from Canada. And our cousin Johnny Boy Ferrara came all the way from Rikers Island. Just kidding. He was exonerated. But really, in a way, everyone here had a hand in making tonight what it is. Because you all touched the lives of these two and played a part in making them who they are. Which is a pretty spectacular feat, if you ask me. I would, of course, be remiss if I didn't take a moment to thank two other extremely important people, Mom and Dad. Our parents are as generous gets. They give so much of themselves. Their time, their energy, their attention, their talents, their love. For my whole life, the two of you have given me everything. But the very best thing they've ever given me is my brother. I don't know if I will ever be able to thank you enough, but there is no greater gift on earth than that. So everyone, please give it up for Mom and Dad. I guess this is probably the time when they would cue the Oscars acceptance speeches instead of wrapping up and get off the stage. But I'm going to keep going. I'll start shouting, I swear. You know, growing up, I always proofread Brad's papers. Proofread, who can say, really? But right now, I'm going to read something of his which I did not have the chance to prove. It's a card that he wrote me for my 16th birthday, which reads, "To Brooker, I don't know where I'd be in life without you," which is very sweet. But it's very clear that I didn't have the chance to take a look at that before this was beyond me. Because if I had, I would have pointed out that he got the central thesis way off base. Because you see, Brad is the type of person who always rises to the top, no matter the circumstances. He didn't need me to get there, but I certainly needed him. So I'm going on record issuing a formal correction that I'm the one who doesn't know where she'd be without you. So Brad, my gratitude for you is insurmountable. To have grown up by your side has made me the most fortunate person alive, and I could not be prouder to call you my brother. And Amanda, it is with extraordinary excitement that I now can officially say I couldn't be luckier to call you my sister. Through Brad, I have seen loyalty. I've seen love. I've seen friendship. I've seen what it means to constantly show up for someone day in and day out. And now I get to see all of that in the two of you. So I can't wait to see all of the incredible things that your future together holds. I know it's going to be great. I love you both beyond measure. So if everyone will please raise your glass along me saying, once again, that is www.littlejohnnysaga.com.
Ladies and gentlemen,